But I do want to share something with you. Sometimes songs can bring back moments in our lives, in our past, and that last song we just sang did just that for me. This week I was thinking about the music that we were going to be singing here this morning, and I picked this song, and then I remembered this moment when I was in first grade, and I wasn't the greatest student. My behaviors were less than honorable most of the time in first grade. I got sent to the office more times than you could count. But this particular time had been way too many times in the office. And I got home that evening, and my parents had a little talk with me. And they said, "You're going to go tomorrow morning early, and you're going to go apologize to your teacher, Mrs. Elliott." And I said, "Oh, I'm not going to do that." And they said, "Oh, yes, you are." And then I had the realization right there in that moment that my bottom was going to have a little rendezvous with the belt. And then so I said, "Okay, yeah, I'm going to go say sorry." And so I show up early the next morning, and it's just Mrs. Elliott in her room and me. And I walk in. I just remember addressing her, saying, "Mrs. Elliott," and it was just quiet. I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? And I said, "I'm sorry. I want to be a better student, and I want to make better decisions, and I'm really sorry." And I remember in that moment, I must have convinced her, because she had tears in her eyes, and she came to me and she gave me a hug, and it was one of those moments in my life that I remember something changed. There was a shift, and I remember having a much better year the rest of the year with Mrs. Elliott. But I think about how sometimes we've got to do things even though we're afraid. And stepping into that, I had the courage to do it, but I was afraid. And many times in life, we find ourselves in similar situations. And coming away and looking back in that moment, I think about, it wasn't only that I was afraid and yet I had courage, but I was also being very vulnerable in that moment. This morning, as we move forward in our time of worship, what areas in your life, in your heart, and that you need to be, that you know that you need to be more vulnerable with the Lord. This morning, as we move forward with Him, may we just press into that we might be a little scared to do that, being vulnerable with God. But sometimes you just got to do it afraid. Amen? Would you stand with me? Let's worship Him.
Can't go back to the beginning. Can't control what tomorrow will bring. But I know here in the middle is the place where you promised to be. Not enough unless you come. Will you meet me here again? 'Cause all I want is all you are. Will you meet me here again? I walk now through the valley, let your love rise above every fear. Like the sun shaping the shadow, in my weakness your glory appears. I'm not enough unless you come. Will you meet me here again? 'Cause all I want is all you are. Will you meet me here again? I'm not enough unless you come. Will you meet me here again? 'Cause all I want is all you are. Will you meet me here again? Yeah, right here again. Right here. Not for a minute was I forsaken. The Lord is in this place. The Lord is in this place. Come, Holy Spirit, dry bones awaken. Lord is in this place. Lord is in this place. Not for a minute was I forsaken. The Lord is in this place. The Lord is in this place. Come, Holy Spirit, dry bones awaken. The Lord is in this place. The Lord is in this place. Oh, He's here now. Oh, He's here right now. Oh, come on, Spirit. Oh, lead the way.
Well, amen to that. Hey, why don't you take a few moments? Why don't you turn to those, say hello, make somebody feel at home here, and then you can take a seat.